Hello, hello. Welcome back to another episode of In the Gallery with Laura Ali. I'm your host, Laura Ali, and we're going to jump right into it today. We're picking up with Hannah Payne's direct examination with her attorney. She's retelling the events of the shooting of Kenneth Herring, and we're picking up right where she's telling the part that she's kind of tussling with him in the car. She was driven, the car may have moved forward. He may have tried to drive forward with her in the car. So that's happening. And he's telling her that she is nobody. I do believe that's a huge part of why this even happened. For whatever reason, him telling her she is nobody, she, for whatever reason, needed to prove that she is somebody. And now we all know who she is. Let's get into it.
Now, what was he doing in the vehicle while this is all going on?
Before he punched the gas is when he was kind of turning his body and he was reaching behind him.
Did you see what he was reaching for?
No, I did not.
Did you see any of the contents of the inside of his vehicle?
During, no.
Okay.
I could see that there were things everywhere, but other than that, I didn't really.
Have you ever experienced anything like that prior to this incident?
No.
Okay. And then what happened then?
Well, after the reaching is when he mashed the gas, and when he mashed the gas, like I said, have no understanding of how far we went, how much farther we can go. At that point, I didn't know that we had stopped because we hit my vehicle, and that's when I drew my weapon.
What? Wait a minute. So they hit her vehicle. So if he's trying to drive straight and he hits your vehicle, that means your vehicle was in front of his. So that signifies to me she did one of those pull in front motions, like law enforcement. Law enforcement pulls in front of criminals to stop them. What are you doing? That's what it sounds like to me, because how else is he making that direct impact? If anything, you should have been behind him. Really, you should have been well behind him at the original crime scene, truthfully. But you felt comfortable enough. Okay.
Now you said mashing the gas. What did that sound like?
You could hear the truck just revving and hissing from the liquids spewing, and it was loud.
And you stated that then you said you have a gun?
I did.
And what was your intent at that point?
My intent was that pulling it out, he would let me go, and I'd pull away from the vehicle, and that would be it.
Did you ever stop trying to pull away from the vehicle?
No.
And explain to me how you pulled your gun out at that time.
It was in my holster on my right hip, and he had a hold of me, and I pulled it out and immediately started trying to just continue to push against the door with it, like pushing away from him.
Okay. And as you're pushing away from the door, what happens then?
He grabbed my hand with the gun in it.
Okay, let me go. Which arm did you pull, or which hand did you pull the gun with?
It was my right hand.
Okay. And you said he grabbed your wrist. Which wrist?
He grabbed my right wrist.
All right. And how did he have that wrist?
Well, with one of his hands, he actually grabbed my wrist to pull it towards him.
Could you tell which hand or arm he had grabbed your wrist with?
It was his left, okay, because he had a hold of me. He had released me with this hand from my neck to grab me with this hand.
Okay. And the gun that was outside the door that you're pushing away from, he got a hold of that, correct?
Correct.
And what happened then?
After he originally grabbed it and was kind of pulling at it back and forth is when he put his other hand on top and he started trying to actually yank it away from me. And then he started to try to turn it, to pry it, almost like he was trying to pry it out of my hand so that he could take it away. And
Which angle was he trying to pry it out of your hand?
This poor man was fighting for his life. He did not know who she was. She's pulling up on him with a gun. So no, I don't blame him for trying to take the gun away from her because he didn't want to lose his life. Why are you pulling a gun? Any gun enthusiast, I'm personally not specifically a gun enthusiast. I have shot a gun before. I don't know all the rules and regulations of gun ownership. But I do know one thing. I've heard if you're pulling your gun, be ready to shoot it. That's the purpose of pulling your gun. You're not pulling your gun to threaten someone. You're pulling your gun to shoot. Period. I'm shooting my gun. This isn't a chit chat conversation, because situations like this could happen where your life really is in danger. Her life was not in danger. She escalated it to make it dangerous, but her life was not in danger. But in close quarters, you pull your gun, you're not ready to really shoot. The person grabs your gun and then has it on you.
Like away from me, so it was this way.
Okay. And that obviously is not the way your wrist is supposed to move, correct?
Correct.
Is that what caused the bruising or the...
It is.
Okay. And you said he's trying to push it this way and pry it out of your hand?
To me, it's what it felt like. Like he was trying to pry it out of my hand.
And you said another hand came over and grabbed it?
Yes.
Okay.
From the top.
Your Honor, so that I can get a good understanding and the jury can see it. If I may approach the demonstrations that she's saying.
You may.
This is a toy gun. And even though it's a toy gun, it does have a slide. As you can see that you can pull it back. There's nothing in this gun, it's a toy gun. So, this is the gun that you have. He was pointing it to say I and him in his seat. How did he have your wrist? Like this?
So I get the attorney trying to do a demonstration. However, I've heard and I've seen defense attorneys object to having their client touch or, display or exemplify how they would have handled a gun, because they just don't want the jury to get that visual in their head. This attorney must think there's a benefit to it, and I respect his opinion on it. However, I think this could go either way, because it could show how she is either ill-equipped to hold a gun, ill-equipped to handle a gun, or how she intentionally shot the man, because it's going to be one or the other, right? Let's see.
His hand was here, yes.
Okay. And the gun was here, he's pulling you forward.
Yes.
And you said he had you here on this?
He was closer.
All right. So, and he had your shoulder with this hand, or what was this hand doing?
That he let go
He let go.
once he got a hold of this wrist.
So he came.
And he grabbed the gun.
All right, you tried to grab the gun like this.
Correct.
Also, I just want to say, in heightened stress situations, how are you remembering each hand placement? Like, what? Like, I would imagine you could barely remember your own hand placements. Like, that's a little bit odd to me, but I guess she's just trying to fill in the gaps of the story.
Okay. And where was your finger?
The same way that I have it now.
And when you grab like this, that shows his fingers are right there over the trigger.
Correct.
Is that a correct?
I mean,
So,
yes.
So it's possible any of the 4 digits got into that trigger.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. So that occurred, and you grabbed the gun like that. What happens next?
He's pulling at it, and I'm just yelling at him to stop, thinking that if I could just get away, it'll just be over, I guess.
Girl, you didn't have to be there to begin with. What are you talking about getting away? What are you talking about? You didn't have to be there. You approached him. You chased him down. So now you want to get away after you pulled your gun? That's when you want to get away. Pulling your gun makes you want to get away from him. And because he's trying to take it from you, because you might end his life, he's fighting for his life. So now you feel in danger. Girl.
Were you saying anything to him at this time?
To stop?
Were you saying it loudly?
Yeah, over and over again. Yeah, I was screaming it.
Okay. And then what happened?
As he's turning it towards, like that way, I'm being pulled, and I can feel myself like pressing up against the car, like my face is up against the door. And as he's pulling it is when the gun went off.
Okay. And you saw the pictures that showed your hand kind of pulled back. Why would your hand or arm been pulled back like that?
After it went off, my entire body kind of fell backwards. Like I was almost like I was falling over, and I was trying to catch my balance. And my arm was turned so far in that once it went off and I was released, it just kind of sprung back.
What was going through your mind at that time?
Okay, first of all, when did the safety get pulled off of the gun? Like, when did you switch the safety off? Because the way she described the initial interaction, she's pulling it out, right? She's pulling out the gun. He like immediately starts grabbing her wrist and tussling with her. So wouldn't the safety still be on the gun? Because you didn't even have the opportunity to switch the safety off, right? Unless you pulled the gun when you got out of the car and you already switched the safety off. Is that possible? Because this doesn't make any sense. None of it does. Let's continue.
A lot. I knew that I was still had to be on the phone with 911, and that I was just trying to get away from where I've been trying to get away from for the last however many minutes, and that I needed to communicate back to 911 what happened.
So you picked up the phone and...
I turned and I picked up my phone that was on the ground, and I told her what happened.
Okay. At any time, did you look around for a shell?
No.
Pick up a shell?
No, I did not.
Were you concerned about a shell?
I was not at all.
Okay. And when you got on the phone with 911, you stated that he pulled the trigger?
Yes.
And what else did you state?
To her, I had told her that he had just pulled the trigger on my gun. And I remember kind of looking around, and I noticed behind me that there was someone who was standing behind me, and I asked them if they seen everything, if they would stay to...
I actually forgot 911. 911 was on the call, was on the phone this whole time. And I actually remember now that 911, like, she came back to the phone and was like, I just shot him. I was like, what are you talking? Like, I told you not to pursue him. No, Hannah.
Be a witness. And he was asking, like, if we were okay. He's like, are you okay? Is everything okay? And I told him, I said, I am, but no, he's not. And I asked...
That's not true as well. She did not say it like that. She said it like, I'm okay, but he's not. Like, it was like, and what? Like, I'm okay, he's not, so what? Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm okay, he's not. Like, can we get someone? No, I'm okay, he's not. What about it? Do something. That was the energy, okay?
I asked the dispatch for an ambulance.
Okay. So your concern at that point was to try to get dispatch to send an ambulance out?
Correct.
Did you look around to see if anyone was close?
I did. And that's when I noticed that there were actually, there were police that were, to me, felt so close that all of this could have just been avoided.
Correct. This could have been avoided mainly by you staying at the original accident scene and not pursuing him. All of this could have been avoided. You didn't have to shoot them in. You did not have to pull your firearm. You did not have to chase him down. All of this could have been avoided by your actions. That's literally all that needed to change, was just everything you did. If you didn't do that, none of this would have happened.
But you had no foresight or any kind of anticipation that it would conclude like this?
I had no idea.
And it appears that a lot of witnesses did come up to confront you or to say what they thought they saw.
I mean, originally, everyone that was standing around, they weren't like saying anything direct. Everyone was asking each other what happened. Everyone was trying to figure out, like, well, where did this car come from, and how did this happen?
Did any of them or one particular stick out to you?
Only the one that was right next to me, because I was assuming that he saw the whole thing.
Did you know his name at that time?
I did not.
After seeing him get up and testify, do you know his name?
I do.
And what was his name?
Cameron
Cameron
Williams.
Okay. And he did stay around?
He did. I don't know where he went exactly. He kind of started to walk around where everybody else was. And it was like I was still on the phone with 911, and I'm trying to explain to her what's going on. But at this point, I'm kind of in a bit of a daze. It was all over the place, honestly.
And what did you do with the gun?
I reholstered it. I took the holster off my hip, and I put it back in the holster.
Okay, and did it stay in that condition till the police came?
It did. I remember looking up and seeing that there was a police officer who was coming up from where he would have been at, like, the interstate area. And as he was walking up, I was trying to get his attention, because he was like walking towards all the bystanders, having no idea what was going on, having no idea who was involved with what or where or how. And I was trying to get his attention so that he knew, here's the weapon, so that he could have it.
All right, now you said that a lot of crowds were saying stuff, trying to confirm what had happened. Did you hear all that they were saying?
It was more a bunch of kind of questions. After the police officer had come up, one of the people that was standing there were basically, again, asking what had happened. And she asked me, she said, did you just shoot him? And I told her, I said, no. I said, he pulled me into the vehicle. He had a hold of me, but that I never had my finger on the trigger.
You shot him, Hannah. He did not shoot himself. There's no way. I'm not saying there's no way, but that's not what happened. Based on every other witness's account, you came out with your gun ready.
And why is that?
I mean, number one, from training, and number two, I never had any intention on pulling the trigger.
And in fact, you never did pull that trigger, did you?
Correct.
You had never had any intention on pulling the trigger. Why did you pull the gun? Why pull the gun if you don't want to pull the trigger? That doesn't make any sense. You pull the gun. You don't pull a gun to just threaten someone. You just say, here, look at my gun. You don't do that. You pull the gun because you are either, your life is endangered, you're trying to protect yourself or someone else, and you're trying to stop the threat, period. That's it. Not to say, I'm approaching you in your vehicle. What do you do? What was your real goal? Because your point was you wanted him to go back to the original crime scene or the original accident site. So were you trying to hold him at gunpoint till he went back to the accident site? Like, what? Why did you pull your gun to begin with? What was the point of pulling your gun? He wasn't a threat to you. You approached him. Make it make sense, please. I need to understand this.
Now, the officers, of course, came up, took your gun, and was there another officer that you encountered at that time?
There was. I was standing on the sidewalk. I was just trying to stay out of the way. And the original officer who I handed my gun to went into Mr. Herring's truck. And the other officer had come up, and everyone was kind of like, pointing towards me, basically. And he walked up to me and just told me that until they could figure out what was going on, that I would be detained.
So, as you said, kind of this fog's going on and you're in shock. Did you ever see that there was an opportunity to try to render assistance, or did that even cross your mind?
from the time that it happened to the time that the police officer got there, the initial response for me was I was away from this vehicle. And I wasn't trying to interject myself back into a situation that I had just got away from.
Yeah. And when the other
Girl, you interjected yourself throughout this entire situation. What are you talking about? You involved yourself in every aspect of the situation, from the accident to pulling up on him to getting out of to like pulling in front of him to getting out of your vehicle, telling him to go back to the original accident scene. Like, but now that the gun goes off, you shot him. But now that that happens, now you're like, oh no, let me back up. Let me step away. I don't want any parts of this.
officer detained you, did he put you somewhere?
He did, in the back of the police car.
And you're not back in that room, a recording there. So I'm going to take a recording or video of what occurred, which was in the back seat of the 7 to use this technology. If you want to take a break or if they're ready to go.
You may proceed, Attorney
Now,
Tucker.
when we left off, I asked what happened once the officers came up. Officer Richie took your weapon, correct?
Correct.
And then another officer came and got you and was taking you to the car.
Correct. I mean, there was a little bit of time that went in between that, but from him taking my weapon to me walking, trying to stay out of the way, and I just remembered kind of going back and forth with the witnesses, talking about, again, them asking what happened. And I remember yelling for one of the officers to come up, and that we needed an ambulance. I was asking where the ambulance was.
Okay. And you do recall being placed in the back of a car similar to this, correct?
Yes.
And there was a video that you've seen prior to today that shows what happens in this video, correct?
Correct.
And I will show you a small bit, and then I'll stop it so you can confirm that that is the video that you recall of the interview with you after being put in the vehicle. Okay?
Right there. Oh yeah, you don't get there. I ran up there. I ain't no fool. Yeah, appreciate it. All right. How you doing, man?
So you said you recall that situation happening. That's fair, accurate representation.
Of him walking up to the car.
And then, from what's going to occur here, I'd like you to listen, please. And
Not doing good. I'm Sergeant Marion, the Clayton County Police Department. All right. Can you just give me a few minutes? Do you mind talking to me and telling me what happened? Okay. Take your time. Turning left on Board Parkway. He ran to the semi? Okay. 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 Okay.
While I was following him, I was still in the letter because I didn't know. Probably not yet.
Okay.
So I followed him down here. I got up and I was able to cut him, and I told him to get out of the car. He needs to stop the car.
Okay.
And I said, everybody else in the field on my right hand side. I told him to stop. And once that I was destroyed, I told him to
Okay.
when I got up to the car, I was on the phone with dispatch, so I got up there and he said I was on the phone with her, and he smacked my phone out of my hand. Took a bird and said, "Look what happened." Smacked my phone out of my hand, and I told him to get out of the car. And he grabbed my
vehicle or what?
I was going like 17, I was
Like 20?
I was pull over. And I was up at the window, but and when he was grabbing the hold of me, grabbing hold of my shirt when I got closer to the window, and I was talking to him, and that's when I saw him. He was reaching, and maybe I was doing something like I don't know, but that's what I wanted.
Okay.
But I mean, then
All I need is to twist it out. Yeah, you don't gotta go that. They're gonna talk to you. But yeah, I need to know what came up to when the weapon was fired.
I pulled it out and I told him that I would shoot him. And he was asleep. He grabbed me, my hand, where I had my gun, where I had my, I was holding my gun with that hand. He pulled me to him, and I'm pulling away, pulling back to my shirt. I didn't want to pull the trigger. He's not having anything in his hand now. I can clearly see this never struck. He wouldn't have anything on it. But he grabbed my hand, and we're going back and forth in the car. He's pulling it, he's turning it towards me, and he grabbed it, and all next thing I knew, it went off.
Okay. Okay. They still alive so we okay. All right.
I stood back. I told him to move around. I told him to sit still. That's when I was yelling at the dispatch to tell them to come back around. And I stood back in the roadster. I was sitting there waiting.
Were you on the phone with dispatcher the whole time? Okay. All right.
And I was on. When he came around the corner, and when I hit him, I told him, "Here's my gun. Where it's from the shot. Here's my hand."
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you.
I mean, I might be straight from any way that I can't call him.
We'll you have the opportunity to call him. Just give him a minute.
Having heard that, is that what your recollection of the count, how it happened?
Minus details,
Okay.
generally.
Well, how were you feeling at that time?
I was overwhelmed. I mean, I didn't know what was really going on.
Is that why you
I'm
wanted?
scared.
Is that why you wanted to call your parents? Okay. And they had some pictures earlier that were presented. If I may approach, Your Honor.
You may. Did you show?
Yes, I did. I showed some of you.
Okay.
What I have here is exhibit number 27, 28, 29, all the way through, here's 30, 35. You recall seeing those when I entered them into evidence, correct?
Yes.
What they present, Your Honor?
You may.
We'll just go in chronological order. Okay. Does this look like a fair and accurate representation of where it appears you were scratched?
Yes.
Okay, is that where when you said he was reaching for your head or trying to pull you in, that's where the marks came from?
Yes.
They didn't come from putting a sweatshirt on, did it?
No, it's not.
Okay. And this is defense exhibit number 28. Do you recall this?
Yes.
Okay. And this area here, is that, what is that?
It's my wrist.
Is that where the swelling or what?
Yes.
Is that your right hand?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. And that would be swelling for what? What reason?
Well, there was swelling on both, but on this side it was from where I was grabbed, but then my
Okay, listen, I agree with Hannah. Yes, maybe he scratched you and maybe he grabbed your wrist. Maybe he did. But none of this would have happened if you did not approach him and did not hunt him down. None of it would have happened. He was trying to, he did not know who you were. Who are you?
wrist is where it was being like twisted and pulled
Okay.
and grabbed.
Is this another? Another photograph of how your shirt ended up
Yes.
that day?
Yes.
Okay. And when they were taking pictures, they took a picture of here. What was going on there?
You can't really tell in this picture, but it was starting. It was hurting. Like it was starting to swell, and there's irritation around it. I guess you could call it.
Okay. And do you recall them pulling out a ruler to measure the marks on the back of your neck?
Yes.
Okay. And you recall taking pictures of your hand there?
Yes.
Okay. And describe what was going on there.
There were like scratches and marks all along my hands and on my fingernails. There were a couple of them, and to try to remember now, I don't remember which ones, but there were a couple of them that were broken off when all of this was happening.
And there's some marks over here. Do you recall what those marks were?
The one right on the top was where Detective Moore basically was asking me if I was showing her where it was hurting, and in that area, she wanted him to document that it looked like a busted blood vessel.
Okay. And you recall seeing this being presented into evidence?
I do.
Did you ever see that in the vehicle?
Not at the time, no.
Was that the biggest nightmare you had if that was in the vehicle?
Yes.
Again, I'm going to keep repeating myself because it's worth being said, because I think that's the whole case. Again, Hannah, him having a knife in his car, irrelevant to you. You would not have known about the knife or been even potentially threatened by the knife if you did not approach him. That's the only, once anything after the approach is all of her fault. So, what are we doing here?
Is there anything else? Is there anything else you can remember about that incident that you might have missed from seeing the back of the truck or back of the police car and speak with them in those pictures?
Small details don't really resonate very well. I mean, it's been the only thing that I've thought about for the last 4.5 years, but it's not, the details, no. Nothing that I can think of.
Now, did you get an opportunity to speak to other officers?
Yes, I did.
All right, and who was that?
After I was taken to the police station, they put me in a interview room, and eventually a Detective Hayward came in and introduced himself and said that he was waiting on his partner.
Do you recall who his partner was?
I was Detective Moore.
Okay. And do you recall how that interview went?
I just remember feeling like I was waiting for hours. I didn't know what was going on. I hadn't talked to anybody since it happened, other than the police officers. And I just remember like feeling like I was waiting for forever, and I had no sense of time or what was going on.
All right. While you were waiting, did you do anything while you were waiting and sitting there alone?
I remember pacing, and that's when I noticed that my nails were broken. So I started messing with my fingernails. I started like taking them off. One of them I remember was hurting, which is what made me realize it was broken.
Okay. And do you recall any of the conversation between Detective Haywood and Moore in that interview?
Not really. I remember that to me it seemed like they would kind of go back and forth between one being more interested than the other. And they kept asking me the same things over and over again. But every time they would ask me, they would kind of insinuate like a different narrative, which to me, I'm thinking that there's an obvious explanation. That everybody that was sitting around would have been able to see what I said happened. So to me, I didn't feel like it was, I guess, logical. So I was just confused.
Okay. And you said they were insinuating that there was a different answer or a different, can you give an example of that?
I mean, just trying to change like my wording, trying to, instead of when I explained to them that I was at the side of his vehicle, when they went back to repeat what I had said, they said, so you reached in his vehicle to show him your phone or something like that. And I just remembered.
Hey, well, that's what detectives will do. Investigators are going to do that because they want to get to the truth of the story. And there's three sides to every story: your side, their side, and what actually happened. So they're trying to get to that point because he's dead. He can't tell his side. So they can get the witnesses, and if you change your story, then they have an indication that something may be different. So that's just, I mean, duh.
No, that's not what I said. I was trying to tell them exactly what happened. They kept stopping me, and then they would try and turn what I was saying, and then they'd pass it back to the other person.
At any time during this interview, did they tell you what was going on with Mr. Herring?
No, they did
No
not.
one said his status or?
Never. No. And I remember asking Detective Hayward in the beginning, kind of, is what's going on? Have you talked to anybody else? Like insinuating, can you tell me anything? And
Insinuating, you don't need to insinuate. Is he alive? Did I kill the man? Is he okay? Those are very direct questions that you can ask. I don't think you need to insinuate, especially after shooting someone, if they're alive or if they're okay. I don't think you really cared.
said I feel like he kind of brushed it off and just said that he would have to see, and that's when I asked about calling, like my family.
So to your knowledge, through this whole interview, you didn't know the status?
I
of
never
Mr.
knew.
Herring?
No.
And you were getting questions, as you said, from both sides?
Correct.
How did that make you feel?
In the beginning, when I was telling them what happened, I thought it was more of a kind of like a witness account, like here's what happened. As it got further into it, I could tell it. To me, it kind of started feeling like interrogation.
You shot someone. So yes, it is going to be an interrogation. What do you expect to happen? You're not just a bystander. You left that bystander role when you chased him down and shot him. Is she not getting that? Oh, why is it freezing?
But originally, I wasn't thinking that it could have been an interrogation, because I'm just thinking that it was an incident that had a clear explanation as to what happened.
Have you ever been in a situation like that before?
Never.
And
Why is it clear to her? I don't see it as clear. How is it clear? This man is shot. You don't know him. How did you end up shooting him? That's not clear.
having gone through that situation and here in court, is there anything you've learned from this situation that sticks in your mind from all this 4 years later, 4.5 years later?
That not everybody is going to have a reaction that you think they're going to have, and that clearly trying to do the right thing is not the right answer.
Think you're ever going to help anybody else, try to help anybody ever again?
No.
The cross-examination is about to begin, but the last line that the defense wanted to close on is, do you feel like you'll help anyone ever again? And she's like, no. Who are you trying to help? Who are you trying to help? I mean, you didn't help Mr. Herring, you killed him. Who are you trying to help? No one, in addition, no one asked for your help. Like, who were you trying to help, Hannah? Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to close it off here, guys. I will pick it up with the cross-examination in the next one. Thank you guys so much. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys again soon. Bye.